guys, and welcome to the Miss Kenna channel. Today, we are going to be diving into the first Bible study of Bible stories of 2021. And I am just so excited about what we are about to read about. It's going to be so juicy because the stories are just going to get interesting and you're going to find more connections with the different characters. So today we are going to be talking about Jacob and Esau, and their story also begins with their parents, and that's what we're going to dive into today. So please do turn to Genesis chapter 25, and we're going to be going into verse 19, and it reads, "This is the account of Abraham's son Isaac. Abraham became the father of Isaac, and Isaac was 40 years old when he married Rebekah, daughter of Bethuel the Aramean from Paddan Aram, and sister of Laban the Aramean." So we're going to stop there. What we're learning about is that Isaac is actually 40 years old. Now, a lot of people think 40 years old and you're trying to have a kid is just really old. But what we're learning about is that God is not looking at times. God does not look at the time, your year, and he decides, oh, this is the right time the society thinks you're supposed to be having a child. This is the right time. The blessing is supposed to come, so it's supposed to come. So as you can see, it seems like Isaac has been waiting for to see his seed for a very long time. So we're going to go to verse 21. So verse 21 says, "Isaac prayed to the Lord on behalf of his wife because she was barren. The Lord answered his prayer, and his wife Rebekah became pregnant. The babies jostled each other within her, and she said, 'Why is this happening to me?' So she went to inquire of the Lord, and the Lord said to her." So I think it's very interesting that Isaac has the same generational problem that his mother and his father had. And as we learned before in the previous video, Abraham and Sarah had the same situation where Sarah was barren. And although she didn't go to God and inquire, Abraham did inquire on her behalf. So we're going to go to verse 23 and learn what God said to her. "The Lord said to her, 'Two nations are in your womb, and two people from within you will be separated. One people will be stronger than the other, and the older will serve the younger.'" Wow. What a prophecy that she will have two people within her. So in this, I think what it means is that she'll be having twins, okay? And although they are twins, and a lot of people think twins are alike, sometimes they're different, they will also be different in terms of they will be two different people, they will form two different nations, and lastly, the older will serve the younger. Now, in many cultures, including my own, usually the youngest is usually serving the oldest. So I guess that is the same in the Hebrew culture, in which, the younger would be serving the older. But in this case, God has said that the older will be serving the younger. So we're going to dive into verse 24, and it says, "When the time came for her to give birth, there were twin boys in her womb. The first to come out was red, and his whole body was like a hairy garment, so they called him Esau. After this, his brother came out with his hand grasping Esau's heel, so he was named Jacob. Isaac was 60 years old when Rebekah gave birth to them." My goodness. So not only did she give birth to twins, but there's a symbol in their birth. The fact that Esau came out, he's the first. So now we know that Esau is the first, and Jacob is actually holding on to the heel, like holding on to his foot, or holding on to the end of his foot. And that's symbolic of God's prophecy that the older will serve the younger. So I also want you to take into consideration the time period. So Isaac was 40 whenever he inquired about this, inquired about his wife's barrenness to the Lord. And it says that he is 60. Okay, you guys, 60 years old when Rebecca gives birth to the twins. So I'm just wondering, how old is Rebecca? Is she also of the same age? So now we're going to go to verse 27. And it reads, "The boys grew up, and Esau became a skillful hunter, a man of the open country, while Jacob was a quiet man, staying among the tents. Isaac, who had a taste for wild games, loved Esau, but Rebekah loved Jacob." So we're going to stop right there. So it's looking like Esau is the hard-working man. He's what a lot of people would say that's a manly man, okay? Because he does the typical things. He does hard work. You know, he likes to play games that are skillful. He's a hunter. He's a man of the open country. These are all keywords to show that he was what we would call right now in our society the manly man, whilst Jacob was more of the quiet person. He would stay at home. It says Jacob would stay in his tent. And it does say that Isaac loved Esau. He loved the manly man, okay? Whilst Rebecca, on the other hand, loved Jacob. And so this is where sometimes you might see this in a family where one parent loves one child and the other loves the other. And this brings upon, I would say this brings a lot of problem, in which we're going to dive into through the reading. And so we're going to dive into verse 29. It says, "Once, when Jacob was cooking some stew, Esau came in from the open country, famished. He said to Jacob, 'Quick, let me have some of that red stew. I am famished.' This is why he was also called Edom or Edom. Jacob replied, 'First, sell me your birthright.' 'Look, I am about to die,' Esau said. What good is the birthright to me?' But Jacob said, 'Swear to me first.' So he swore an oath to him, selling his birthright to Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau some bread and some lentil stew. He ate and drank and then got up and left. So Esau dispersed his birthright." So as we have read, prophecy has come true between these two twins, these two brothers, that the God's prophecy that the older will serve the younger has come through in, such a short period of time, I would say, in a situation that I feel, in a situation that normally would not have occurred, I would say. The prophecy of God has come through. Now, this is what's really interesting. Every single time I read about Esau and Jacob, I always think, how can such a thing such as hunger, right? Food, something that is not of greater value compared to your birthright, how can, that replace someone's birthright? Sometimes I read about it and what I just realized is that God's prophecy is God's prophecy, and what's meant to happen is just what's meant to happen. And so I want to thank you guys. If you watched this video all the way to the end, stay tuned for the next episode, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.